Hi guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Dima Arinze. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like our videos and comment on our videos. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching our videos. Marriage is a very important aspect of our lives, especially if you decide to get married. If you decide to get married, it's very important that you answer some questions before you get married. The question that our video is going to be about today is, are you marrying them for the now or you're marrying them for the later? Sometimes people get married because they feel right now that person meets all the needs and meets all their checks. But what about for the future? What if things change? Would you still want to be married to that person? So you need to ask yourself questions. Do I want to be married to this person because of what they do for me right now, or because of how they make me feel right now? Or do I want to marry them for the future? Or are they also good to be in my life if things change in my future? Firstly, I'd like to start by saying that love is not enough to sustain a marriage. Love can never sustain marriage. If you ask people who are divorced, most of them will tell you that they still love one another, but they can no longer coexist together. They can no longer live together. So that tells us that love is definitely not enough. First of all, your marriage needs to be built on a solid rock. And as we know, Christ is our solid rock. So your marriage has to have a very strong foundation. And the only strong foundation that your marriage can have is Christ. So first of all, you ask yourself, are you guys equally yoked? This person that you want to get married to, do you guys have the same beliefs? You guys have to have the same beliefs to some extent because that makes the marriage easier. Having the same belief serves as a cushion when certain things hit the marriage. Because if you guys don't have the same belief, both of you will be trying to look for solutions in different ways. Are you getting married to them for now or for later? The first question you need to ask yourself in this question is, are your goals aligned? Are your goals aligned? The goals that you have for yourself, the purpose that God has created you to fulfill, do they align with it? It's not just about love. They make me feel good. They make me feel beautiful. They make me feel complete. Are your goals aligned? You need to be sure that your goals align, because when those feelings go down, it's that drive, that inspiration that both of you draw from one another, how both of you motivate one another, how your goals align is what keeps you guys. That friendship that you have built is what keeps you together. So if your goals don't align, for instance, you get married to someone who is comfortable being however they are, they don't have any plans or intents to grow, but you are one who is goal driven, you want to grow, you want to advance yourself, and then because they make you feel good, because you feel loved by them, you marry them, then you're trying to attain your goal and they're just comfortable where they are, and then it becomes an issue. Now there's going to be a friction because you're chasing your goals, they don't bother to chase theirs, or they don't have any goals that they're chasing, they're just comfortable where you are. You begin to see that you have clashes, you disagree because at the moment your goals don't align. So if you know that you're goal driven, you're purpose driven, you need to marry someone that's like you. You need to marry someone that's also goal driven, someone that's also purpose driven. Ask yourself, am I marrying them because they make me feel good? Am I marrying them because they make me feel comfortable? Or am I marrying them because they make me feel good and their goals and my goals are aligned? You also have to ask yourself, if the tables turned, would I still be happy to be married to this person? Growing up, I heard the story about a man who had gotten married to a lady who was very kind to him, and he didn't have so much at the time, but the lady was loving, she was accepting of him as he was. And eventually things changed and his life got so much better. Then he started to question himself. Should he have married her? She no longer meets the standard of the life that he lives. That story just left me with a lot of questions in my heart. It left me with questions like, so why did you marry them if you feel like your goals didn't align? Before you get married to someone, you guys have asked yourself certain questions and you know if they are goal driven or they are not goal driven. Getting married and being in a relationship is not all about love and how they make you feel. You have to ask some hard questions. Hard questions are so important in marriages. I'm a huge fan of hard questions. You need to ask those difficult and hard questions because those are the things that build that solid foundation in your marriage. So I asked myself, okay, if his life has changed and now he feels like he's gotten to a level and the lady is not yet there, so why did he leave her behind? Like, why didn't he grow with her? That scenario just left a lot of questions in my heart, but it made me realize that he married her for the now. didn't marry her for the future. He felt like at the moment she was very accepting of him. She fit the situation where he had found himself in. And when his situation changed, he felt like she was no longer good enough for him. That's a very bad thing to do to anybody, but that was the story. And that just woke up a lot of things in my mind. And that's why I always told myself, before I marry anyone, I'm going to ask them all the difficult questions. So I did that clearly with my husband before we got married. I asked him lots of hard questions of all scenarios and situations, just to be sure that I was getting into the right thing. And I know that it might not be easy to accept some answers after you've gotten married, so it's best that you ask those questions before you guys get married, and then you can decide if I want to be with this person or I don't want to be with this person. Another question will be, are you equally yoked? The Bible tells us that we should not be unequally yoked. This is so important. As much as people would say love is love, yes, love is love, but that's all that it is. Love is love. Love is not marriage. Love is not marriage. Love is love. So if you feel like because you love this person so much, when it comes to marriage, you don't want to be unequally yoked. You want to be on the same frequency with the person, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, physically. You want to be on the same level with that person. You want to be equally yoked. Because when you're unequally yoked, it would always feel like one person is dragging the other person down. And once someone starts to feel like they're being pulled down by their partner in a marriage, that's just the beginning of issues. You need to be equally yoked with that person. The Bible doesn't lie. If the Bible says do not be unequally yoked, then do not be unequally yoked if you want to have an easy marriage. Marry someone for the now because they make you feel good, because they make you feel comfortable. It's not long-lived, because in the future, when you're now chasing your goals, when you're trying to be the achiever that you were born and created to be, and they are not the same, you guys are going to have lots of clashes, and you don't want that. If you go into marriage hoping that someone is going to change, someone is going to act a certain way, you're in for disappointment, because marriage does not change anybody. Marriage only magnifies what we already have inside.